All right, now it's time for chapter 2. We spent at least a week now, I believe, talking about irrigation and geography. You should understand the basics of the land of Mesopotamia, Fertile Crescent area. Now it's time to actually focus on the people, like you people, but 7,000 years ago. So the first group of people were the Sumerians. The Greeks called them all Mesopotamians. They were not. They were people of Sumer, the city of Sumer. Okay, the city state. Here we go. So where are you going? The goal is, of course, the central question has not changed. How much does geography affect people's lives? Yours, mine, theirs. You should be able to, and you put I will be able to on the left side of your notes. On the right side, put describe Sumer, the world's first numero uno civilization. So let's start with basics. Mesopotamia again. Okay. It's the area where the first civilizations were located. And it's between, surprise, surprise, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. So, as I put in here, most of Southwest Asia, the Middle East, is an arid climate today. So it gets less than 10 inches of rain, sleet, snow. So it's mostly desert with a lot of high temperatures. Hot, 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 hot. So ancient Mesopotamia was green, only green by the rivers, rich soil, a little bit of rain, a little bit. That's where people were hunting and gathering. They chased their food into Mesopotamia from Africa. And a group of people decided to stay where the animals stayed. So ancient Mesopotamia and the surrounding area is also called the Fertile Crescent, or that little cradle civilization. And eventually these rivers would provide irrigation once the people realized if I could cut channels into the sides of the river and divert the water, I would stop the flooding and I'd be able to keep the water for later when I had a drought and didn't want to die. So here we are, Mesopotamia. There's the city of Sumer. There's the area of Syria, the Euphrates, Tigris rivers, and then all these other little city-states I'm not going to tell you about, but they're there. Uruk, Kush, Nupur. You get the point. All right, now you're going to have to go back and use that map I just showed you, this one, to answer these questions. Question 1, what bodies of water were most city-states near? And think rivers. What was the advantage of being located by these areas? What's the good thing? Okay, once you have the map questions down, map questions left, answers right, let's move on to Sumer. Let's actually look at just Sumer. You can see the city of Sumer down here below, right here. See it? That's Sumer. Its earliest known civilization, be numero uno of mankind. It's where all the city-states first came, and ironically, humans started fighting. The first things they started doing was fighting over the water. There wasn't enough to go around, so they would create their own government, their own army, and then attack each other. This is a typical city-state back in Sumer. Notice the walls to keep out invaders, the irrigation system to help keep the crops going. All right, polytheistic. These group of people were many God believers. Poly means many, theistic is gods. They had hundreds of them. There you go, many gods. Each had powers over natural things. They believe in rain, basket weaving skills, boating, fishing. They had gods and deities for everything. They prayed to them using their ziggurats, huge step pyramids, not Egyptian pyramids, step pyramids. Each one was for all their gods. Lots of them. They had the grand ones. These are the ones that are still there today, thousands of years old. These are at least 4,000 years old now. And you can tell there's back then on this picture here, they were really, really tall. See this? Really tall. Even when you see these little people here, but they used to be way bigger. There's a reconstruction of the ziggurat at the city of Ur. That one is hundreds of feet tall. All right, I want you to stop for a minute in your notes. Just stop. Okay? Down. Pencils down. Stop. Think about this question. Are ziggurats like any buildings in America today? I want you to think about what the purpose was of a ziggurat and think, do we have them now? Okay? And then try to write, yes, we do, and explain, or no, we do not, and explain on the right side of your notes. Thank you. All right, now remember, people in Sumer were no longer hunters and gatherers. There was farming with irrigation, but you don't need a bunch of people to irrigate. One guy can control a lot. So people got bored, and people get bored. They do something. In this case, they started finding new jobs to make a living. So many were farmers. Some became artisans, or skilled workers. They trained to be good at something, like traders, or merchants, people who sell things. And then they created something to keep track of the trade that they were doing. If I had 10 sheep and I only wanted 5, and someone had 3 horses and only wanted 1, I could trade the 5 for the 1, and then we both are happy. But I can't remember that a year later. So they started writing down basic shapes using wedge arrow shapes to depict pictures. And eventually they shorthanded down to simple little arrow shapes to mean words, like this, cuneiform. It's the very first writing humans have ever used. It's very wedge shaped, all in clay, no paper yet, folks. And these people who could write were called scribers or scribes. That's it. That's basically what it looks like. The number 1 was a little arrow with a little triangle on it, and a 2 was 2 of those, and 3 with 3 of those, and 4 became this bigger triangle around the smaller ones. It's complicated. But remember this. This is important, even if you don't like it. Writing is really, 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 really important. With the invention of writing, people were finally able to keep records. And if you keep track of records, you can keep track of big amounts of numbers, which means math can now grow, which means we can start learning how to create things using numbers. So this is when historians and archaeologists, me, and now you guys, surprised, because you are now studying history, hence you're historians, were able to learn how these people were like, both using their artifacts and their writing. Just because they're long dead doesn't mean we can't figure out what they were like. And of course, these guys invented the plow. Not only were they inventing riding, but they were doing the irrigation. But to make a giant field, you need to plow in the seeds. These guys invented it. They were all about finding shortcuts to living. The plow made mass agriculture possible. If you couldn't do agriculture with massive amounts of shovels, thousands of people every year, that's going to take too long and really expensive. So more food, more people. And of course, more people, the more people want things. So now you can start trading in stones and metals. There wasn't money yet, but people did like shiny things or useful things. So up in ancient Mesopotamia, up north, whereas Akkad and Assyria, those people had all the minerals. They were in the mountains. Down south Mesopotamia, that was where all the food could be grown. They had no minerals, though. So they'd trade back and forth, ships going up and down the rivers. Ships built out of reed plants and animal skins would go up and down really fast, trading the supplies they wanted. All right, now it's time to ask you a question. Yourself. What if, you put what if on the left side of your notes. On the right, type for yourself to ask this question. What if writing hadn't been invented? Or how about irrigation for farming? What would be the world today if we didn't have those two things? Final, did you get there? It's time to check. This is you on the bottom. Summarize it up. Did you get there? 1. What is the purpose of a ziggurat? Vocab word, guys. Remember it. 2. Why was writing important for early civilizations? 3. The people of Sumer were polytheistic. Explain what that means. All right. Thank you. Hopefully you got your notes done. Take it easy, guys.